Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. This is your Sunday supplement. I am Owen James, your host, guys. We bring you all the latest news around the greatest club in the world. Right, so we're going to look back a little bit on yesterday's game, a 2-1 victory for Rangers over Motherwell at Hambrox or Hampden or whatever you want to call it. We're also going at the B team as well. Some extraordinary news coming out of the B team today. We're going to look look a little bit ahead as well to what is coming up this week, not only with Rangers but also here on the channel. Well, yesterday was a game of two halves to some extent. The first half, Rangers played very well. I thought, the first half there was some nice interchange of passing, great use of the ball. Rangers moved the ball very successfully, some nice intricate passing moves around the box. Opened the Motherwell defence on regular basis, created some nice opportunities. And probably could have scored a couple more than the actual two that they got in the first half. As for the goal that we conceded, that goal all stems from the fact that James Tavernier is one of the worst right backs in Scotland. If you watch the goal back again, he just jogs over towards the Motherwell left winger, who has all the time in the world to cross the ball into the box. Now, I know Suter leaves it. I know Popper hits Popper's foot and goes in. I think there's a lot Popper can do about it, if I'm being honest. I don't think he was to blame. All Tavernier needs to do is show some energy, show some effort, get back, get stuck in to that left winger, and that ball never comes in the box. Never comes in the box. They never score, and it's never an issue. So, that was totally on James Tavernier. But, I've been reading some really interesting stuff on social media, blaming everybody else but James Tavernier for that goal. As for the rest of the performance, I thought, overall, there was some very, very good performances first half. I thought Václav Černý was absolutely brilliant. I thought that Conor Barron was brilliant. I thought Diamande did very well. I thought Ridvan was good going forward. Some of his deliveries into the box were absolutely excellent. Also, Dessers worked very hard in the first half. I want to touch on Dessers as well in this video, as we saw the two sides of him in today's game. Overall, there was some very positive performances by Rangers first half. Second half was not quite as good. The second half really did tail away. Whether they were holding something back for Tuesday for the tie against Dynamo Kiev, I don't know. But for me, that was nowhere near the caliber of performance we needed, and it was too nervous at times. I mean, realistically, we should have been putting that game away 3-1, 4-1 at that point, really kicking on. But we really did show a lack of killer instinct in the second half, which was very, very disappointing indeed. I mean, talking about some of the performance now, I also want to, address the whole Danilo issue. I think that's something that's really has come up, and we'll talk about that shortly. I've got to say, these two boys I thought were brilliant today. I thought Václav Černý, the Czech Robin, was just fantastic. Now, I mean, he's not the sort of player that will naturally go past people and go outside them. He cuts in. He's very much like Arjen Robben, that former Dutch player who was very left-footed. But that works because it creates space for the fullback to overlap. It creates a bit of an overload in the middle. It creates those chances. He's good at the intricate passing around the box, sneaking into the box, having a crack. And that goal that he scored was absolutely superb. The way he cuts in from the left, Robben-esque, and curls the ball past the goalkeeper again, Arjen Robben-esque. It was top finish by Václav Černý. I must say, growing up, Arjen Robben was one of my, I'm growing up more in my young adulthood. Arjen Robben was one of my favourite players, in terms of non-Rangers players, very exciting going forward. And if Václav Černý can be half as good as Arjen Robben, he's going to be one hell of a player. Now, as for Conor Barron, I thought, again, Conor was just fantastic again today. Conor is just a hive of energy. The guy is constantly getting stuck in. He's fighting. He's battling. I don't think he's playing in his best position. I don't think 6 is his best position, but he's doing a hell of a job in there, covering for the fact we still need one. He gets stuck in. Even if he doesn't win the ball first time, he's up, he's at them, he's battling for the ball. And when he does win the ball, what's his first thought? Play it forward, look for someone. And the other thing as well, I don't know whether anyone noticed today, whether you noticed when you were watching the game, but he was always offering, always wanting the ball, always saying, give me the ball, give me the ball. You could see him all the time wanting to get the ball, wanting to use the ball. He wasn't scared of it. And I think that's one of the things that's kind of been levelled at Rangers players in the past, likes of John Lundstrom, for example, that they're kind of scared to get the ball. They're kind of worried about, going for it. So, look, I thought he was very good again today. And I think, he is definitely going to be an absolute star of the future for Rangers. I mean, this lad for me is good enough to be a Rangers captain in the future. He's a leader on the park. He's a leader off the park. And his attitude is absolutely first class. And I think, you know, if we had 11 players with the attitude of Connor Barron, we would absolutely walk the league this year. We genuinely would. I have to say, I thought Robin Propper, made a very good debut today. Composed at the back. You know, I think it's going to take time for him to adjust to the speed of Scottish football. I think obviously there's a difference there between the speed of Dutch football and the speed of Scottish football. I think at times he was a little slow on the ball, but look, that's just adjustment, isn't it? You know, coming from playing in Holland on the continent, playing in Britain is hugely different. You know, both the English league and the Scottish league are so much faster, so much more full on than the continental league. So overall, you know, I thought Robin Propper was very good today, not to blame for the own goal at all. It was just damned unlucky that was. But the way he used the ball was absolutely excellent. You know, he was always there offering for the ball. I mean, the tackle that he got booked for, I thought was an absolute disgrace, if I'm being honest with you. I thought he was a brilliant tackle, taking two players out at once. Was absolutely superb. I thought Dio had a good game. I've seen some criticism again online of Dio, and I don't get the criticism of Mohamed Diomande. I genuinely don't. The guy uses the ball really, really well. He gets stuck in. He's physical, and he's Dio the director. You know what? If you actually watch Mohamed Diomande play, if you actually watch him play, you actually keep an eye on him during a game. When he's got the ball, he'll play it off. And then the next thing he's doing is he's looking, he's watching, he's pointing, he's directing, he's giving instructions as to where the ball should go to next. When he's got the ball, he's telling people where to run, where he's going to put it. He's always giving that kind of instruction, that leadership in the middle. And for such a young player, for such an inexperienced player to be doing that, I mean, okay, he's played over 100 first-team games, but he's still relatively young in football terms. He's absolutely superb. So for me, I thought Dio did very well again today, and I think the criticism he gets at times from some Rangers fans is totally unwarranted. I thought he was very, very good indeed today again. And like I said, he just uses the ball so well and speeds up the attacks, gets the ball moving forward. Now, one quick aside today. The B team played at the training facility today at Auchenhowie against Derby County and beat them 5-3. Now, if you look at the team that played today, Bowdenakis, Adam Devine, Robbie Fraser was the captain, Clinton Ciala played, Alan Robertson, Stevens, that's Archie Stevens, of course, Cole McKinnon played, Finlay Curtis played, Yanis Hagi, and he called him Georgie there. Yanis Hagi played, Alex Lowry played. There's a lot of experience in that starting 11. A lot of players who've been in and around the first team at times. You know, Adam Devine has, Fraser has, and Ciala obviously, you know, has played in the preseason there. McKinnon has, Curtis has, Hagi has, Lowry has. The bench was Halliwell, Hutton, Webster, Allen, Grant, Ncio, and Josh Gentles. You know, two quality players on the bench, Ncio and Gentles. But the team won 5-3 today. But the big story coming out of today's game was this one, that Yanis Hagi scored a hat-trick for the B team today, including an absolute pearler of a free kick as well. Now, watching Hagi play apparently today, he looked fit, he looked keen to go, he looked hungry, he looked aggressive in the tackle, he used the ball exceptionally well. Now, I know it was just a B team fixture. He took his chances very well. He looked very, very good today, apparently. And that's on top of the excellent performance he gave the other day as well. Look, Hagi, I think, you know, there's been talk, obviously, that Hagi wants to leave. Philippe Clement has said as much. You know, I think a lot of why Hagi wants to leave is not because he dislikes Rangers, not because he likes playing here, not because he dislikes Glasgow. I think a lot of it is the way he's been treated by the club. I think, you know, last season he was forced out by Michael Beale just for saying that he wanted to play. And then I don't think that, you know, when he's come back from his loan with Alaves and he's had a good Euros as well, he's been given a fair crack at the whip, a chance to actually prove himself as a player in this squad. And I think one of the most frustrating things is that, you know, you see Scott Wright today on the field, and I'll be honest with you, you could take out a missing persons ad for Scott Wright today. I mean, he was absolutely absent today. I mean, I'll be honest with you, by half time, I'd kind of forgotten Scott Wright was even on the pitch. I don't actually know what Scott Wright did today. I genuinely don't. I think he had one shot that went straight at the goalkeeper, as per usual, a pass back, a typical Scott Wright shot. But other than that, he was absolutely absent. And, you know, if you're Yanis Hagi, a remaining international, you know, a player who was, you know, very good in the Euros, a player who, you know, scored 3 goals in his last 2 games, a player who has a proven track record as well. And you're watching someone as awful as Scott Wright get into the team every week. I think you must be sitting there thinking, what the hell am I doing wrong? And what the hell is going on at this club? Look, I know Yanis Hagi divides opinion. I know there's some that say he's too slow. He's finished at the club. It takes time for him to go. There's others that love Yanis Hagi, but I think we need to look at it, the situation we've got at the moment. And at this moment in time, we are still paying Yanis Hagi his wages. The lad is not showing any sign of dissent. He's not giving up. He's not throwing his toys out the pram. He's not having a mood. He's not putting in minimum effort. He's training hard. He's working hard. He's playing really well. Why not get him in the first team? Why not give him an opportunity? Why? Obviously, Cortez is out. Hagi is better than Scott Wright. Hagi is better than Tom Lawrence. Tom Lawrence, I thought, was woeful again today. Alex Lowry's obviously not in the first team plans. So realistically, other than Tom Lawrence, there is no other 10 in the squad. So why not give Hagi an opportunity? Todd Cantwell's obviously finished and done. His attitude hasn't been great. Hagi hasn't displayed any attitude. He hasn't posted horrible stuff on social media. He hasn't posted controversial stuff on social media. He hasn't tried to court controversy in the same way that Cantwell has. He's a player who's come back like a model professional, worked hard, tried hard, played well when called upon for the B team, not throwing his toys out the pram. And, we're still paying this lad's wages. We're still paying this lad over 20 grand a week. Why not try and get something out of him over these next few weeks, even if it's off the bench or in relief of Lawrence? Look, he may come out and not be good enough, and he may obviously not fit into this system, but he is a very clever, very technically gifted player. And for a player who played well in the Euros against some tough opposition, like, for example, the Netherlands, who reached the semi-finals of the Euros, why not give him that opportunity? I genuinely don't understand how Scott Wright can get in the team ahead of him. I genuinely don't. I don't really understand how Scott Wright gets in the team ahead of anyone, if I'm being wholly honest. Scott Wright, who would struggle to get a game for the dog and duck. Why not give Yanis Hagi an opportunity? I just, like I said, he looks a top player at this moment in time. Now, the other issue that is very confusing around Rangers at the moment is the issue of Danilo. Right, so Danilo has 0 minutes of first team football. Dessers has played the full, he's played all of the last 3 games. He's played 270 minutes at the start of the season. So there's been no rotation of Dessers. And there's always a worry there that, Dessers goes through a lot, gets a lot of wear and tear, gets injured. And then what have we got? Well, we've got supposedly unfit Danilo. Lovelace doesn't look to be anywhere in the picture, and Hamza Igman apparently isn't ready yet. So that would leave us in a position where we didn't have a fit striker, not a match fit striker anyway. Now, to get match fit, to get up to speed, to be ready to play games, you have to actually have played minutes. Now, Danilo had minutes during pre-season, but now it seems that in these first 3 games, he's had no opportunity to play. He's been on the bench in all 3 games. Now, I always thought that if a player was on the bench, that means he's fit enough to play a game, fit enough to play a match, fit enough to play some minutes in a match. In the games, against Hearts, for example, when we're chasing that game to win the game against Dynamo Kiev, today, we need to really finish the game off. Why is Danilo not getting 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? I genuinely don't understand. Now, Clement did say during the week that we haven't really put the team in a position yet where it's been okay to bring Danilo on, which I don't understand. He's talked about the fact that he would bring him on if it were 2 or 3 goals to the good. Well, what's the issue with swapping Dessers for Danilo? Surely you're just swapping like for like there. So you're not actually weakening the team there. You may even be strengthening it to some degree because Danilo is slightly more mobile. Clement talks about being careful with these players and slowly weaning them back. And I get that. I understand that. And, I know you were listening to the medical staff and talking to the medical staff, but if Danilo isn't fit enough to play a game, if the medical staff are telling Clement that he can't play any part in a game, why is he sat on the bench? Why is he putting him on the bench? Because, as I've said on a number of videos and on the live stream yesterday, if Dessers was to go down injured after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, what does Clement do? Does he bring Matondo on up front? Does he move Czerny up front? Or does he bring Danilo on? What does he do? Because surely your next striker off the bench is Danilo, and therefore, you look at it injured, so I can't play him anymore, so I've got to bring a striker on, so I've got to bring Danilo on, but apparently he's not fit enough to play. So I genuinely don't understand what is going on with Danilo. Why he isn't getting any minutes in the first team. This is a player that needs to be playing. This is a player we need to start to get some minutes out of. as the season progresses, into the end of August, start of September into October, we're going to need to rotate the squad. We're going to need to get minutes out of all these players. And if Danilo's got no match sharpness, you could be going into September, October with him having played 0 minutes of first team football. Then you're looking at the end of October, start of November for him to be match fit, which, a decent portion of the season has already passed by. So I just find the whole situation really, really weird. Is it that those rumours that were coming out during the week about him being sold are actually true and he doesn't want him injured? He's just got him there as an emergency. Or is it that he genuinely isn't fit enough and he shouldn't even be on the bench, but we're so desperate for numbers, we're putting him there, even though we've got Josh Gentles, Alex Lowry, Yanis Hagi, Zach Lovelace, Finley Curtis, etc., who can all come onto the bench. So I just find the situation extremely confusing, if I'm being honest, when it comes to Danilo, what is going on with him. I think, what we could do with is really clever on coming out and being very specific about this issue, talking about why Danilo isn't getting 10 to 15 minutes in games, why we aren't using him, and why we aren't trying to get him back up to speed, because to me, that is really, really important. Well, guys, let me know what you think of the stories we've covered. Now, this week, obviously, the big thing we're focusing on is obviously building up towards the live watch-along on Tuesday night of Dynamo Kiev Rangers, obviously from Hampden Park, as Rangers seek to beat Kiev to go through to the next round. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Please, obviously, sub to the channel, help the channel to keep on growing. Hope you've enjoyed the Sunday supplement. And on the way out, if you can do me 2 favors. Number 1, smash that like. And number 2, remember always, we are the people.